this character development could be exactly what Charlotte Flair needs. Let the praise for Jade Cargill be as loud as the disrespect was. My only complaint about this Cena and Orton feud is I wish it had more time. I'm Ben Allison here at Wrestling Republic, and I've analysed last night's episode of Friday Night SmackDown, and here are my 5 key findings. In at number 5, the United States Championship 4-way has been built so well in such a short amount of time. Of course, it did have the benefit of being able to build off the WrestleMania feuds like McIntyre and Priest and LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, but even still, the way they've merged those feuds together into this 4-way has been done absolutely brilliantly in only 3 weeks. The way they have built up these tensions between LA Knight and Damian Priest I've really enjoyed as well, because when I kind of felt like they were building towards this 4-way, my fear was that LA Knight and Damian Priest were going to be very, very friendly, but now they're one of the biggest points in this story leading into the match, and that is excellent. But the other thing which they did really well last night, which really impressed me, was the fact that Jacob Fatu made it clear that he is not following a Solo Sikoa game plan. He is doing his own plan, and he doesn't really even have a plan. It is just wrecking chaos, and you saw Solo Sikoa's reaction to that. He was not happy at all. And that does raise some questions. Could Solo Sikoa possibly cost Jacob Fatu tonight? Personally, I still do predict that Jacob Fatu is going to retain, but I do like how this has created just a little bit of doubt that perhaps Solo Sikoa could screw him in this match. Plus, it's a fatal 4-way too. He could lose without being pinned. In at number 4, let the praise for Jade Cargill be as loud as the disrespect was. In the decade I have covered professional wrestling, I have not seen a wrestler who's been micro-analyzed more than Jade Cargill has been. People have been so quick to point out the slightest mistakes that she makes in the ring, even when she's recovered them enough for it to not even be considered a botch. It's like there's an army of internet trolls just waiting there ready for her to make the slightest little hiccup of a mistake. But guess what? She's proving them wrong every single time, and she's improving every single match she has. She's improved so much in the ring over the past few months, and talking about improving, her match against Nia Jax last night was really enjoyable, and Nia Jax is another person who's improved massively over the past 12 to 18 months as well. Of course, from here we're building towards Tiffy versus Nia once again. They need to finish that feud. I understand why they're doing it. I do, to be honest, have very little interest in it, but I get it. Meanwhile, I'm really interested and have a lot of interest in seeing Jade Cargill run it back with Naomi, and I have a prediction to make right here, and that prediction is that Jade Cargill is going to help Naomi win that match. In at number 3, this character development could be exactly what Charlotte Flair needs. I can't remember the last time we saw any character development from Charlotte Flair, but seeing her in the ring on the mic last night, almost having a little bit of a breakdown, well, suddenly I became very interested. Then later in the night, we saw Alexa Bliss approach her, asking to talk to her, and I think it is clear where this is heading, because in the months that Alexa Bliss has been away, I reckon she's reconnected with the Wyatt 6 and has joined them. So from here, I think there are 2 possibilities. One being that Charlotte Flair temporarily joins the Wyatt 6 in the same way that Daniel Bryan joined the Wyatt family back in the day, and I would be very, very interested in seeing that happen. But the more likely situation here is I think this is going to be a feud with the Wyatt 6, and I'm also all here for that. We all know how great the original Wyatt family was at bringing stale characters back to life. They did it with so many wrestlers, and I do hope that the Wyatt 6 can do the same thing with Charlotte Flair, because like I said, suddenly I'm very, very interested in her. But before we get into the top 2 key findings, I got a quick favor to ask, and that favor is that you guys hit a like and subscribe on this video, and also share it with any friends as well. We have pretty much almost daily videos here at Wrestling Republic, and in addition to that, we have a daily live stream every single day, 364 days a year at 8 PM UK, 3 PM Eastern, and 12 PM Pacific. I hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much. In at number 2, the Ohio crowd went from not caring about Fraium to loving them. I mean, when Fraium came out, they just did not give a single care. It was crickets and what chants. It was brutal. but as the match went on, they got more and more into them, and at the end, not only was there "This is awesome" chants, but there was Fraium chants too, and that is incredible. I mean, the match between Fraium and the Street Profits last night was undoubtedly a banger of about, thoroughly enjoyable for the 16 minutes that it went, but also it did protect the Street Profits even in loss, because of course they are injured. Fraium, I guess, took advantage of that, but this made both teams look, well, not both teams look good, but made Fraium look good, and Street Profits not look bad, so I think this achieved its job very, very well. But because of the way that all of this went down and Fraium getting a win here, I no longer predict that Fraium will be the ones to take the titles off the Street Profits, unless maybe it's 6 to 9 months down the line, which I actually would quite like. But I think it would now be too predictable for Fraium to beat the Street Profits for the titles anytime soon. And in at number 1, my only complaint about this Cena and Orton feud is I wish it had more time. It's been a really fun 3-week story, but I just can't help but feel like there's multiple stones which have been left unturned here. There is just so much history which they could and should have revisited, should have touched upon here, that they just haven't touched yet. But at the end of the day, I understand. Cena has very limited dates left, and I'm sure a lot of feuds that he wants to get through. So while it does suck for this feud, I do get it. But regardless, I am so excited, so pumped to see Cena and Orton run it back one last time tonight. Like I said, it's not going to be a 5-star classic, but it is going to be a lot of nostalgia and a lot of fun. But that's enough about my thoughts on Friday Night SmackDown. Let's get into the thoughts that you guys have submitted via our Instagram broadcast channel. At 4N8 only is sent in, Carmelo under The Miz is going to take some time, but develop him into stardom. I really do hope you are right, but I do have some fears here. On last night's episode of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, Shard was mentioning how he feels that WWE view Carmelo Hayes as the new Dolph Ziggler, and if that's the case, that absolutely sucks. But I unfortunately do think I could see that being the case. I know I don't shut up about the fact that I was watching Carmelo Hayes when literally he had a couple of thousand followers back on the independent scene as Christian Casanova, but I really do think he has world championship potential. I think he could be a multiple-time WWE champion, but I am concerned if he's actually going to get to that level now. Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully you're right, for N8 only. At The Real Som 2 says the new Charlotte angle is very interesting. I think it's a fresh way for her, and it would do justice to a character to work her way back to the title. I agree completely, fantastic point. It's something interesting, like I said earlier in the video, and I am excited to see where it leads. Up next, we have an opinion from Jose99 who says John Cena is either retaining by slapping a referee or getting R-Truth to screw over Randy Orton and be his servant. The slapping referee thing, it would be so funny, but I really hope they don't do that. It's the last time ever. I don't think it's necessary at all, and people would absolutely hate it, which I get would be the point, but even still, I think it might be a little bit of a step too far. As for the R-Truth thing, I feel like I'm a lot more for this compared to most people at this point, because everybody's saying they don't want to see it happen, they just want to see Cena turn on R-Truth. But for like a month, I would love to see R-Truth like be in the ring with Cena being his biggest supporter, and then have Cena turn on R-Truth. That would work a lot better in my opinion. But hey, I get it, it wouldn't be too serious, and a lot of people want this to be quite serious. Thanos_WWE says the high point of the show was Alexa Bliss returning and a great partnership with Vega, but the low point was Nia beating Jade, but it was to be expected. Yeah, absolutely, I would have loved to see Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. We saw it a couple of weeks ago, a glimpse of it a couple of weeks ago, and it was really, really entertaining. But not only do we need to see a resolution to Jade and Naomi, but I also do want to see an ending to Nia and Tiffany as well, because they never really finished that feud, and I do think it does need to be finished. And to end things, we have a burning hot take from Shard, who says Charlotte Flair is a bottom 5 promo in professional wrestling. I completely and utterly disagree, Shard. Listen, she's not been great recently, I'm not going to lie. Although the promo last night I actually thought did its job perfectly, right? But yeah, over the last couple of years she's not been as good. But if you go back 5 years, she was cutting phenomenal promos. So to say this, I can't disagree with more, to be honest. But overall, I did thoroughly enjoy Friday Night SmackDown. And I understand I've given out a lot of subtle rounds of applause recently, but I'm going to give another one out right now. We get a subtle round of applause off me. Really enjoyable go-home show, and the 3 hours just flew by for me personally. But what did you guys think of the show? Make sure to let me know in the comments. I will be replying to them as always, and I will see you guys tomorrow to talk a little bit of Backlash. Check out Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast tonight, and of course, our watch along for Backlash tonight on our channel as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Peace!